broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
That's a good wake-up song right there.
Yeah.
Dong.
Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV, your one and only spot for after-show entertainment. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Hooks. I promoted myself to captain in case you guys didn't know that.
I thought I was the only captain here.
You're number 2 today.
You've been demoted.
I'm now a quartermaster.
Absolutely. Guys, we have a very special treat today. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 of the cast members from Black Sails today sitting to chat with us. To my left, Jessica Parker Kennedy.
Hello.
There you go, say hi.
Sorry.
Zach McGowan.
What's up?
Luke Arnold.
G'day.
Better known as Max, Captain Vane, and John Silver.
Long John.
Not yet. He's
Not yet.
He's not
Still
there
short
yet.
John. It's soon enough.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead. I hate that I have to say this when we do these interviews, but spoiler alert: we're going to talk about stuff from season 2. If you haven't watched season 1, don't watch this interview. Come back and watch it later, because I'm going to talk about things that have already happened.
Yes.
But before we go any farther, I want to talk logistical things because we have to do that as well. So season 2 airs on the 24th. We've got 10 episodes this time around
On Starz.
on Starz. In case you didn't
9
know
p.m.
9 p.m.
Have you said that yet this week?
No, I never said that
No,
before.
not
In fact,
once?
I just found that out today.
Excellent. A bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I saw it on a billboard
And
a bus.
and a
coming by.
bus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
actually
24th.
When the show first aired last season, I was talking about when we did our very first episode how great it was to see how much Starz put behind the show, and like we saw buses and billboards, and it was everywhere. It was on all different networks, and that's really kind of an awesome thing to see when your network is that far behind your show.
Yeah.
Season 3 is already scheduled for 2016.
Yeah, we're actually shooting it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've started shooting season 3.
It is a great feeling when you feel like we're such fans of the show. And it's
Yeah.
fun when you hang out, with everyone at Starz and you kind of start to realize that they're as big a fans of the show
Oh,
as we are.
totally.
You're like, oh, that's really fun.
Yeah, you go into the offices and our posters, like our faces are everywhere. It's pretty
Faces
cool.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I think as actors, like you're so used to people like you're doing things that no one cares about. Like when something you're like, sweet, everyone cares as much as we do. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, exactly.
So I do have another thing that's really important that I need to talk about because this is awesome. I'm actually really excited about this because I'm going to participate. January 10th, there's a Twitter contest going on for in LA and New York where you can win $5,000 from Starz
Yeah.
In a treasure chest.
in a treasure chest. Where basically you're going to follow Black Sails Starz on the internet in the Twitter world and find you guys.
Yeah, unless we find that treasure first. I mean, I'm after.
Listen.
I'm going to be looking at those clues too.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're definitely
going
allowed
after
to
it.
do that.
So if we
definitely.
get there at the same time, who knows? We may have to fight over it or
Well,
something.
listen, we can split it. If you want to, help me out, send me a text on where you guys are. We'll figure it out. I won't tell anyone. I promise.
Yeah,
Secret is
they won't let us know. They won't trust us with that.
Absolutely.
they
Yeah, no,
never
I
will.
actually I have some intel going on, and I know where it is, but I'm not telling anyone. Don't take me hostage. It's only $5,000, but if you do, Charles will be on you. So.
No worries, you're there. All right,
Yeah, I think
so
we're all going to be there at the end.
the big season 2 release was out this week, so we've got information about season 2 and also the women of season 2. How does it make you feel?
Like,
I mean,
You are a woman.
I
Is that
am a
correct?
woman.
It was
How does
targeted
that
at
make
you.
you feel?
the women of season 2 are what they're promoting. So how does that make you guys feel?
I love women personally.
Yeah.
I've made 2 of them so far. So
Yeah.
And the
that's a
ones
good
on Black
daddy.
Sails are pretty freaking cool.
They're all right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of really strong female characters on TV right now, and it's just really, I feel privileged to be a part of that. And my female castmates are like really kick ass in person and on the show, which is awesome.
As much as, like, because we've seen season 2 now, as much as, all the guys get to go and do awesome stuff, the female storylines in season 2 are particularly captivating, really.
Yeah.
And each of them. So I think that's something everyone will get a kick out
Just
of.
vicious.
Yeah.
I hope you're
Yes.
talking about Anne Bonny because that's what everyone really wants.
Vicious. You don't worry. Anne Bonny comes. I think if Clara were here, she'd speak to it. But yeah, you get you get a lot more backstory and a lot more on a lot of the people
Yeah.
you've been waiting to see a lot
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's one of my favorite things the second season is seeing Anne Bonny kind of step out of the shadows and really take her
Absolutely.
own story.
Yeah,
When,
absolutely.
I think there's a lot of talk about that because, with her and also Charles Vane, they're both real people. So there are history of what they've done in the past. And, with Max and John Silver, they're not real people. So they kind of can play with that. But everyone wants to see them at their finest, I think, and looking into that. So the season 2 synopsis came out. It says, the Walrus crew is stranded with an army of Spanish soldiers between them and the precious Urca gold. With their crimes against the Brethren no longer a secret, Flint and Silver must join forces in a desperate bid for survival.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Meanwhile, Eleanor Guthrie struggles to maintain her grip on Nassau. Hopefully that's where you come in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. A new breed of pirate arrives in the form of Ned Lowe, a man whose violence is not just a tool, it's a pastime.
Dun, 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 dun.
Charles Vane must decide which he values more, Eleanor's life or the respect of his men.
Dun, 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 dun.
And unbeknownst to them all, there's a prize of immeasurable value, around $5,000 in Los Angeles, I think, smuggled into the island. Yes.
There it is.
Oh, there's the dun. I was waiting.
Are they men or are they monsters?
Ooh, good
No,
question.
sound cute? There.
Bit of both.
What is it? Are you guys men or monsters? And,
are
or
you-
women?
All women. Yeah.
Jess, are you a man or a monster?
Full man, all man.
Yeah, that's what you find out in season 2. No. I think actually what's really great about the show in reality is that these are the questions that we explore with all these characters. In our world today, it's really easy to pass judgment on people who have to lie or kill or cheat or steal. But these people live in a world where their survival is not guaranteed without these kind of things. So that's a big part of the show. And are they men or monsters? I think most of these people don't look at themselves as monsters. They don't want to be monsters, but they might do monstrous things.
But sorry,
Go, go.
it is a conflict that comes up for most of the characters in season 2. I think you start to see why they got into this world, how they ended up here, or with Silver, him choosing to be a part of this world or not. And so I think that question, and that comes into Flint's backstory as well. We start to see what drove him to become Captain Flint, really. So I think that is the big question that hangs over all the characters for this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and probably one of the main themes of the show is just really exploring that, and what is good and bad, and what can you do that's bad and still be like a good person somehow. I think that's like good cable shows. That's like what
It's all about being a good person or not.
Yeah, or not.
What I think is like with your character more than anything, your monsterism is very straightforward. Through season 1, at least, you have seen very much, this is your mission, this is what you're doing. But with your characters, it's a lot more in relation to manipulation and, what are you going to do next? Who are you going to try to trick to save yourself?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I find every time I read the script, I'm always like, okay, why is Max doing this? Is she doing it because she has feelings, or is she doing it because she is trying to get something out of someone? And it's the same thing. It's something that we talk about that a lot on the show, and it can get really complicated. Sometimes I don't even know, and I always try to kind of flesh it out before we shoot. Yeah, and hopefully keep the audience a little bit confused so they can form their own opinions about it.
That's what we love to do the most.
Yeah.
Make things up as we go along. That's what we do here at AFTERBUZZ, is guess what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they can just put in a dun 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 after whatever we do, and then people will guess anyway.
Perfect. So do you guys have a favorite moment on set that you've had in season 1 or 2?
Without giving too much away, season 2 had a lot of great stuff. I think season 1 really set the groundwork, set up the world, because I think we really had to let people understand what this new pirate world was, that we haven't seen on screen before. And now that that's done and we know who all the characters are, things really launch off. So there was so much fun. I think what the synopsis starts talking about for me is that real team up between Flint and Silver. That's a big part of season 2. It was so much fun. Like every day getting to kind of go toe to toe with an actor like Toby Stephens. And also, it's a great little odd couple. They're very similar but very different. So for me, the biggest fun of season 2 was seeing those characters play off each other and being a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, in season 1, you get to see Vane do a lot of stuff, but you don't really get to see him go, out on the ships, and you also don't get to see him do that many scenes with that many of the other cast members. He's pretty much exclusively in season 1, with Elena and Max and Bonnie and Jack. So getting to just kind of work with everyone for the first time, the other show, and getting to go on the ships and getting to do a little bit more of that kind of stuff was just really blast for me, and I think kind of myself and everyone was waiting to see some other kind of fun come out of it. So I had a blast.
Jessica?
Yeah, for me, I think I just season 1 was such an incredible arc for me on the show. I feel like it was just from here to here at the end, and there's a big kind of power shift with Max in season 2, and just really fun to in a lot of ways. I'm playing a really different character because she's very changed after what happens to her in season 1, and so it's just sort of her facing the world in a completely new way and teaming up with people, and yeah, it's
So can you expect that we'll see an even bigger evolution of Max in season 2?
yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's hard to believe that it's going to get even better than what it did in season 1.
I think all around, all of us, when we got to sit down and finally see season 2, we had a good feeling while we were doing it.
Yeah.
But I think we're all really proud of it.
Yeah.
I think having 10 episodes really helps, having the first season behind us and that confidence. But all around, I don't think we expected to be so happy with a job, to actually look at work that you've done as a group and go, I think this is awesome.
Yeah, because usually you watch it and you judge it, not because the show's not good, but we're just all so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that feeling. It was like, wow, everybody's really good. This is awesome. It was really exciting.
I think it's the kind of thing. I mean, you hear it happen. You hear about like creative confluence at certain points on a show where where the writers are writing to the actors' strengths, and the strengths are doing, the actors are doing, kind of exactly what the writers are needing, and the direction, the directors, basically everyone came together, and I mean, we watched it for the first time in New York Comic Con. Yeah. We sat down in a hotel room, and then watched it when we got back to Cape Town, and we were all really super excited.
I'm excited.
I mean, if you saw us, you wouldn't think we were cool. We were, I'm like,
That's what takes pride in your work. That's what you do. What you do.
Yeah.
So the actors are acting, the directors are directing, and the writers are writing. Right? Is that what I got out of that?
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
but like doing it, like in kind of perfect confluence. Doing it really the way, nothing. Yes. I guess I said something obvious.
Yes.
I'm Captain Obvious,
Thank you,
I
Captain
thought it was
Obvious.
brilliant.
not Captain Vane. Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious. Do you think with season 2 that there are any things that people are going to be really surprised that when they see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, and we
God,
cannot
yeah.
say that right now.
No, yeah.
You can step out anytime.
She's waving. Yeah. No, there's actually some really there's some big balls that drop in the season for sure. And
So you're naked again?
no, those balls actually.
Cannonballs.
You know what? I won't tell you whether that happens again. But no, there's really some creatively just some things that drop that are.
I think
oh my God.
also you realize, the writers have played the long game with this show. I went back and watching season 1 recently. You realize there is a lot of conversation about stuff. You actually have no idea what they're talking about. I think a lot of Flint's history, his conversation with Mrs. Barlow, and a lot when that starts coming out and you realize what was driving so many characters in season 1. I think it's great. You feel really rewarded for being, especially for you guys when I watch the show, a lot. Be really rewarded for the things you might have guessed or the things you had no idea were coming. And it just enriches the show in a huge way. Yes, there's so many great episodes this season.
There was, I think, when we were shooting season 2, when we get the scripts and we would read them, it would be, it'd be like 20 minutes after the scripts have just gotten emailed out to everyone, and we're all calling each other, going like, "Oh my God, did you because we're having that experience that you guys will have when you're watching it. When we're reading it, going, "Oh my God, look what they've done!" It's really it's fun, and I think it's kind of like living real life. You don't know what's happening next when you're on a show.
So do you guys follow all the other character lines as well?
Oh, yeah.
Like when you're reading it and
yeah.
I only
Always,
read what it says. I just type in Vane.
Charles Vane,
and-
got it.
I'd read my scenes. That's it.
No, we obviously read everything. And
Act 1, Scene 2, got it.
yeah,
That's
in
all
a
I
way,
need.
that's more enjoyable because when you read yours, you're going, "Oh, how am I going to do this?" And you're starting to where reading everyone else's is just like reading characters that you love and are following. You just get to enjoy their story.
Oh, absolutely.
and also by this time in the show, like when we read it, I read it. And I hear Luke, you know what I
Talking
mean?
in your
And I hear
head.
Jess, and I hear all the Toby.
Oh, it's
and-
completely
in your
different.
head.
I found that same thing reading season 2. It's like it's visceral. You can see everything.
You're picturing it out as it's happening.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
almost
You're
watched
going to
the
nail
episode,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
How's it been being in Cape Town? That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
Clearly.
Yeah, it very much is I think we kind of live the pirate life because we work really hard, but in the time off, we're in this beautiful sunny location by the ocean, drinking rum.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
literally.
On a 50-foot clipper ship that they built
Yeah.
for the set.
Yeah, well, and we live right by the water, and we live by a marina as well. So there's like boats around, and it's pretty cool. Like it's definitely better than like I hear like some people are like, oh, like I'm shooting in like the
Arctic.
Yeah, like, it sucks.
17 feet of snow.
Yeah. But I mean, it's far away, but it's fun, and there's really a great food and nightlife in Cape Town. It's basically like a resort town, so we're kind of on vacation.
Have your families been able to come
that.
out and visit you guys since you're so far away?
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah.
I feel like everyone would take advantage. Oh, you guys are in Africa? Sure, I'll be right out.
Yeah.
No problem.
No, we kind of have a constant stream of families and friends coming
Someone is always there,
Yeah.
which is really good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's move on to more questions about the show. Okay. So this is actually a fan question for you, Max.
Cool.
So there's been a lot of talk with you and Eleanor, but in season 1 we saw a lot of interaction with you and Anne Bonny. They want to know if there's anything in the Anne Bonny future with you.
I
made that very broad to see where you'd go with it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I wanna say so
Are there
much
any
to you.
scenes? Are there any scenes in season 2 where you are together in any place? I guess is what the question is.
I made it broad enough that
Like you talking in a scene.
You
I
have a
think,
scene together.
yes, I can safely say that we have a scene,
have a scene
together.
together? Okay,
Yes.
And they also want to know about what you think about like the life of women in this time frame, because obviously it's different for what the men go through than what the women go through.
Absolutely, it's a really good question. I mean, it's so interesting being the character that I play and being on this show, because you're dealing with a woman, Eleanor, who has an unbelievable amount of influence in the place that she's at, and a character like my character who has learned how to manipulate a situation, has learned through her business how to manipulate men. And there's a really great scene in season 2 that kind of explains a lot of that, and where women don't have the opportunities that men do, but the characters on our show have sort of found a way to get through that. Even Anne Bonny with the dressing as male, and but it's just I've completely lost my train of thought while
No,
I'm
it
answering
was
this
brilliant.
question.
Keep talking.
It was going well. It was going really, really well. It's much more interesting for me in this time period to play a woman of power as opposed to one who's because it's a constant struggle, and all of us are struggling with it. But yeah, I'm just having a really, really good time kind of figuring out who this woman is and how it's so fun to manipulate. It's so fun to play a character who's incredibly manipulative.
And you see the rise and fall of all the women, I think, in season 1, and hopefully that's what they're pitching for season 2 when you see these trailers, when it's all about the women.
Yeah, it is. It's really a female strong season. There's 4 of us, and like just watching it, especially the stuff with Louise, she's absolutely fabulous. Like it's really, really, really incredible.
Do we get any new women in season 2?
I think in the trailer there's touching. Yeah.
Reveal some stuff. I mean, there's definitely more female characters. There's no shortage of female.
Well, because
characters.
they've advertised Ned Lowe, and the reason I'm asking, they're pitching him as he is a new character that we have to worry about, but they haven't talked about any new women characters.
I mean, there aren't prominently,
Dominant women characters.
Do we tell them about the Pirate Queen? Oh no.
Oh no, that's a different show.
Yeah.
It's a different show.
Funny. You guys are so clever. All right, so I want to ask a really random question for you, Luke. I want to know about your experience on Peter Pan.
Yeah, right. That was my the first job. I was still at high school, so I think it was just turned. I think it was still 17.
I
just
love
turning
that movie.
18. It was fantastic, and I learned to sword fight to play Romeo in a theatre production of Romeo and Juliet. And the guy who taught me sword fighting got hired to choreograph sword fights as part of the massive stunt team on Peter Pan. And he kind of brought me down for one day. They're like, "Oh, do you want to come check out the set? No, you want to be an actor?" And by the end of the day, I had a full-time job. So I was there for 10 months, worked with like the Matrix fly crew, a guy from Jackie Chan's stunt team. And I ended up being the main choreographer of all the Pirate Lost Boy sword fights for the end battle. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, it was ridiculous as well. It was like, what am I doing here? And yeah, so it was really fun. And then I ended up being a pirate.
Didn't you get like stabbed too?
Oh yeah, Jason Isaacs did stab me in the eye. Captain Hook stabbed me in the eye. So there was a little bit of rubber on the end of the sword, but I like bled out the side of my eye and out my nose, and my face went purple. Yeah,
he's been stabbed in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by
sad.
Captain
It's like
Hook.
that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
By Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
I know when I love that movie because I was a young teenager when I watched it, and I was like madly in love with Peter Pan. And
Who isn't?
Well, exactly. And when Luke told me that he was a part of that movie, I was just like, woo! So starstruck. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Well, and part of the reason I asked that is because one of the fan questions was asking about you know, in Australia and how it differs in terms of maybe actor training that you received from there versus what people get here, or how's that like prepared you for the world stage of acting?
Yeah, I do think so. I did 3 years of actor training at a place called WAPA, the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts, where Hugh Jackman went there, and I think that that seems to be a bit of a worldwide thing. That kind of 3 year of mostly theatre training, then went into a bit of film training at the end. I did for my showcase do a sword fight. I just remember. So that's always been there. You know, John Silver doesn't actually then really pick up a sword ever in the show, so I haven't been able to put too much of that to use yet. But yeah, so I think for me, and I have to say that training feels almost essential for Black Sails. We get these kinds of, you know, you can have a 7-page two-hander, and that's something that not a lot of TV does, especially with this kind of nautical language and the kind of things we're doing. So I have to say my training has definitely served me on this. And I think most of the actors, especially having a lot of English actors who did the full-on training, so it definitely helps.
For me, I was funny because I was just in my hometown where I went to Mount Royal College, and there's a 2-year theater program there, and I just was there last week for the holidays talking to my voice and diction coach, and I was telling her the struggles that I have wearing these corsets and kind of breathing from my diaphragm, and she was great. She's the same incredible teacher that she was, you know, when I was going to school, gave me the most amazing tips, just sort of like off the top of her head. It was no big deal.
Like she does it every day.
Yeah, like exactly. Like she does it every day, and she's a pro. And, you know, I've taken so much of what I learned at theater school for this specific project.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been in school.
This is definitely something that stretches you as an actor.
Yeah, it really does.
You're not in your comfort zone the entire time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun to watch.
It makes it fun to do.
Even more so. Well, you know, send me out there. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I actually played Billy Bones in a production of Treasure Island.
No way. Look at
So
that.
do
Tom in here next time.
Does Billy
You can have
Bones
a
return?
Billy Bones off.
Does Billy Bones return? Any word on that?
Oh, well,
There's been a lot of debate.
He died in episode 6 of
Yeah,
season
6,
1.
yeah.
something
There's
like
no body. On TV, when you fall off a ship, you're not dead until you're as a body.
that. Well, you have
Middle
to
of the
watch to
ocean.
find out.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to show up as a member of the British Royal Crew of sorts in Scarborough.
Right.
That was my prediction when the episode happened.
I think he comes back as like a ghost dolphin or something.
A mermaid.
It's a merman. It's
Yeah,
a merman.
Oh, that's what it
It's a
is.
merman.
Yeah.
He makes a beautiful mermaid as well.
In fact, remember when they did the costume fitting on the mermaid thing, and he had to walk out? He couldn't walk.
Did you guys have any thoughts on Ned Lowe and his arrival?
I think the thing is, in Black Sails, we have such, because we're all kind of bad guys.
Right, everyone's bad.
Even the hero then bad guy, they got to be pretty bad.
Bad, yeah.
And so Ned Lowe really represents that. He's someone who doesn't hide the fact that he's kind of the most ruthless guy around, and he definitely does shake things up upon his arrival.
Yeah, I think what's important that they did was they just kind of like, all right, well, we established this world. There are other people in this world that you still haven't met yet, and that's, I think, you know, kind of the biggest part that, you know, you realize, like, oh, there's a whole ocean out there full of these kind of characters, and we've just met a couple of them.
And I think that's one of the beauties of the show, because since it's a blend of fiction and realistic actions taken from a book, you know, in time frame, there's no time frame on these people, because when they actually lived is different than when they're in the show, but they've kind of all blurred them together, and they're also pulling from the book. Do we see anything more in terms of the Treasure Island that the show was originally billed as, leading into? Because obviously your character is a character in Treasure Island.
We definitely start to move towards Treasure Island a bit more in this season. I think, you know, season 1 was very much really just setting up Black Sails in this world. And so I guess you have Black Sails here and Treasure Island over here, and we start to creep in that direction a bit more in season 2, which is obviously stuff that I love. You know, that's when these guys are looking at historical stuff, I'm just reading Treasure Island again.
Clearly makes you feel safe in your role as John's over.
That's it, yeah.
Because and then we saw at the end of episode 8 that Mark Ryan's character Gates was killed.
Yeah.
Does that make you guys feel a little insecure about your jobs?
You know, I mean, I think we're all
You're safe.
I think we all signed on to this kind of. I mean, I think with the exception of Luke's character, we are all like we all play dead men or dead women.
And
like,
there's
you know.
also no reason that, like, sorry to interrupt, there's also no reason that, like, a main character couldn't disappear for a while, you know, like, that's the other thing, too, so.
They can stick me on an island for 4 seasons, you know.
If they wanted to, you know.
But they're going to keep crediting you and sending you a check.
Well, you know, you never. Yeah, well, hopefully. I think, like I was was saying before, though, there is something refreshing about TV, playing characters, and you don't know what their future holds. Even if you know some of what their future holds, you don't really know what's coming around the next bend. And there's something cool about that as an actor. And you might only have a few weeks from having gotten the script to shooting it, and you're like, oh my God, you have these, oh my God moments. And, as far as like life or death, I mean, I think as an actor, it's kind of the same as a person. Like, you don't know when you're going to die. Death could come at any moment, right? So are you constantly afraid of dying, or are you busy living? And I think, on the show, I try to keep busy living.
And I think anyone would love a call from the showrunner. And John Steinberg, our fantastic showrunner, a bit of a thing started happening with the crew, with the rest of the cast. Yeah. And some of the, the smaller roles and the recurring that they kind of, sometimes they get a phone call and say, you have a call from John Steinberg? And you kind of know what that call is.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's like the note in your locker or what?
Yeah.
In trouble?
Yeah, it's the black spot, really. You go, it's the pirate's death sentence. Yeah. So that happened, we lose a few, as you expect to in the pirate world during season 2.
People die on the show.
Yeah, and you certainly don't get any warning. No one's calling you at the beginning of the season.
Did I talk to you about my new show? No, sorry.
That's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
So is this
this other show I'm going to do. It's on HBO.
Yeah.
No, we didn't say that. I'm just
What?
Cut that. Edit that out. That didn't happen.
Starz? What?
Do you guys have? So I want to ask this question, and you can say yourself if you want to say yourself. Do you have a favorite character on the show? Okay, don't say yourself. Say somebody else. And it can be character, not necessarily the actor. It doesn't have to be the actor.
Anne Bonny is by far and away my favorite character on the show.
She's a good one.
Yeah, I Rackham for me. And Rackham gets some really fun stuff in season 2. I think both Rackham and Bonnie, who are that kind of duo, who are a little landlocked through the first season, really get to spread their wings in the second season. Yeah.
It's Rackham for me all the way. I like.
And I'm just gonna go with Rackham too. So you can just wrap it up. Toby Schmidt.
I was going to go with Anne
favorite.
Bonny.
Yeah.
I was going to go with Anne Bonny.
So
we could have a split. Yeah, we could throw it to the.
But I was really kind of even on both of them since they said it. I'm leaving your camp. I'm going.
That's okay.
I'm sticking with the team.
That's what you do best. So we can look forward to more Anne Bonny and more Jack Rackham.
Yeah,
I think with Jack Rackham too, like he's one of the only characters that there's room for comedy there,
Mm-hmm.
which the rest of us
He's
don't
always
really
the relief.
have as much. So he's extra entertaining to watch, because it's written that way for him. So it's not that he's a good actor or anything like that. We don't.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
probably
care about
probably
that.
didn't play Hamlet in the off season.
Twice.
Not at all. Did he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
twice.
just he's a great actor.
I've heard lots of good things about him.
it's
Like, so when
great.
Mark Ryan was in here, he was talking about all the people on the show. I got all kinds of dirt on all you guys.
Yeah, Ryan lives like right over here.
Yeah. He's a local guy. Hangs out in LA all the time. Do you guys have any thoughts in terms of what's going to happen with Eleanor Guthrie and her struggle for power? I mean, I know you know the answers to these questions, but can you share any of them?
It's a hard thing to.
I think if there's one thing that they do, that the writers have always done on the show, is that, you say about the struggle for power, I think there's no shortage of struggle. So if you're worried about seeing struggle, I think the show is always going to show you struggle in all the characters, because it's actually not that fun to watch people just like, life is easy. I'm like, kick my feet up and I don't have to do anything. So yeah, there's plenty of struggle if that's what you're asking.
And I think something the writers have really focused on that you notice in season 2 is no one ever plateauing. That every time you start going, have we seen this scene before? And this interaction, change it up completely. And I think that happens to all the characters in season 2. So Eleanor definitely, keeps evolving. Yeah.
As everyone, I hope, does.
Yeah.
That's what makes a really
We're not
long...
going to tell you anything.
I know.
I'm going to keep asking. Keep asking.
Asking all these questions.
I'm just going to keep asking and keep staring at you awkwardly until you answer something. All right.
Slips out.
Jessica, did any of these roles that you've played in your past prepare you for Max? Because Max is a very intricate character.
It's interesting. I've played a lot of evil characters,
Plastique
and
on Smallville.
yeah, and I never look at Max as an evil person. She's just a human doing the only thing that she knows how to do to get forward in life. So no, but I have had a lot of practice with that kind of mischievous, villainous kind of putting myself first characters for this, which has been helpful. But yeah, no, this is really something entirely different. I knew the minute that I booked this job, I was like panicked because I was like, I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. I don't know. So it was really intimidating, and but really, really thankful for it because it's like taught me so much, and yeah, it's just super fun part to play.
It's fun to watch.
Good. I'm glad.
That's right. Luke, does anything that Silver does resonate in you? Like, is there part of Silver in you? Like, would you make the same choices
Look, I don't think so. I think he's much more. I think because of the experience he's had in the world he's grown up in, I like to think he's much more self-serving than I am. And I do like you. It's funny when you talk about Max as potentially being evil, or they go. I don't see it like that at all.
Yeah.
And same with Silver, because you go the world they live in and what they have to do to survive. It's a necessity to look after themselves first and to be ruthless. And what I like about Silver is that he's absolutely honest about that. I think that he goes, "What? Don't expect anything else of me.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just trying to
I'm going to
survive."
save myself over you. Why is that a
Totally.
ridiculous thing?"
It's such an odd character trait that he
Yeah.
has, that he's that way, because no one else is really that way.
And I think maybe as more time goes on, I think Silver is allowed to be the kind of guy he is in season 1 because he expects to leave. He's not looking after his reputation. He's not trying to impress anyone. There's no long-term plan for him. He's taking that bit of money and getting the hell out because he sees that this is not a good world to be in if you want to live, more than a week. And I think as time goes on with Silver, and I think in season 2 he starts to realize that maybe he's going to be here longer than expected. I think that's when I start relating to him more. But it almost humanizes him a bit more because he has to relate to people differently. He has to, maybe start thinking about more than just that one bit of gold and ducking out the window.
So he and Flint become friends then, as we saw.
Yeah, friends is a very strong term.
I think in this world, there's only so friendly any two people.
There are
can become.
allies.
Yeah.
But I think they do, very early on realize that there is probably something beneficial about working together as much, and I think Silver takes that. But look, it's something neither of them want to do. They look at each other and going, "I don't really want to spend any time with you," but especially for the first episode, they don't have a choice.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I have to say, the first episode's pretty fun.
Yeah,
it's all
it's
pretty
good.
fun.
It's all pretty fun, but
It's a good season.
It's been a year off, so we gotta come out hard, right?
Yeah.
Get everyone back on board.
It definitely
Yeah,
comes out hard, that's for sure.
Excellent. All right, one more question.
Yeah.
So I was reading an article about you recently, and it was talking about how with Shameless and now doing a lot of naked scenes, basically.
Oh, the nudity.
On the nudity, it's become part of the job.
Yeah.
Did you still find it weird?
Can I just say that I love that question wasn't directed at me and
I
was
thought-
directed at the men instead?
I thought about it, but that just seemed too easy.
I mean, I think that I think everything is part of a job as an actor. I mean, part of what you have to do is kind of realistically depict these people in whatever the circumstance is that gets written. And whether you want to do it or not, if you don't want to do something, I don't think it's something you have to do. That's not what I mean when I say it's part of the job. I just mean that it's the job in general, like as far as if you want to show a world where and you want to be realistic about showing all parts of that world. Not everyone has all their clothes on at all times, and not everyone has any clothes on at some times.
Especially in this period.
So, I think it's, is it a part of the job? Of course it's a part of the job. What's the joke? It's I think it was just an actor once said to me, he's like, everyone's got to take their clothes off at some point. It's just like,
You got to do it.
And not that the Max scenes aren't appealing to watch, but the Charles Vane kill scene coming out of the grave in episode 7 is probably one of
memorable.
the best. That's one of the best nude scenes that's ever been on TV.
I'll never
Memorable.
forget trying to get all that paint off of some of
Oh,
my
it
nether
just crushed it on your body.
Just,
and-
I only think about the makeup artist that had to put that paint on all of your nether
Nothing like that makeup job.
Yeah.
Carrie, Carrie had to
Listen, somebody fought for that job. 'Cause you're like, I want to do it. Me.
Really, that was
I
just like,
promise
she
you
had
they
to
did
sit.
it.
She had to sit for hours with me in a chair talking just to get to that moment. So I think, but in the end, it turned into torture for her.
Sounds about right. I'm gonna step away from that and move right along. All right, guys. I want to ask too if you guys have anything else going on. I mean, besides Black Sails, do you have other things that you guys want to talk about that are going on in your lives? Movies or anything working on?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I just did Dracula Untold for Universal. That's out there. Go check it out. I believe it's actually coming on DVD soon. It was just in theaters. That's a good one to go check out. I play a gypsy, so it's a little bit of a different character. It's really fun. But that'd be something to check out if you wanted to see more of Zach McGowan.
You do.
We do. In another
He does.
accent.
As if you haven't seen enough.
What is your accent in that show?
I'm doing a Romani gypsy accent.
Romani
Yeah.
gypsy.
So new Zach, yeah.
Cool. Just
And you
another. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna pitch him already. I was like, dude, he's a rock star. Watch his.
Yeah, I did, between season 1 and 2, I filmed Never Tear Us Apart, which was an Australian mini-series on the band In Excess, and played Michael Hutchins, which...
I was actually going to ask you about that, but I
Kills
thought
it.
Yeah.
In Excess.
Yeah, it was like my dream role. So, I mean, they did air out on here on another network a while ago, so people did get to catch that. So I guess, I don't know yet where you can see that, but I'd say chase it down, because...
Yeah, it's on TV.
It's on the internet. Everything's on the internet.
Yeah, there we go. You can see that.
Can we say that? You can say it's on Showtime. You can say that.
Okay.
It's been airing on
I don't know if it
Showtime.
is.
It's been
Well,
airing on
It's
Showtime.
been airing on Showtime.
It's
yeah,
awesome,
which has been,
by the way.
And he's
Okay.
amazing.
He's
Like,
really,
watch it.
really
I'm like
good.
so jealous of him. It's
He's
awesome.
like insanely famous in Australia right now.
Well, once you play a pirate, like the rock star's the only one that
Yeah.
with his hair.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, we've got rockstar, pirate, and Jesus. And they're the only
Jesus
rock-
will
yeah.
be next.
all we can do.
Or a hipster. One of
Yes.
them.
Or,
They're
yeah.
just currently deciding between us about Jesus.
Yeah.
The next Mel
It's
Gibson movie.
it's a race to play who could be Jesus. Right? Yeah.
That's a battle. That's
Yeah.
a battle right there.
Battle of the
Fight
Jesus.
to the death. Who will play
In an
Jesus?
epic fight to the death.
Anything for you, Jessica?
Jesus.
Oh gosh, nothing exciting to talk about. I wish I had a plethora of amazing films to tell you about.
I mean, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
People want to know where they can find out more about you guys. So,
And then
besides,
You should check her out on DVD, 50/50 on DVD. You can check that out.
Zach.
I'm
you're
actually
so
pretty
sweet.
awesome in that.
I'm partial to Lucy the Elf myself.
All right,
We're
okay.
gonna go back.
Oh, my Jenny McCarthy days.
Send a little Santa baby.
We were just talking about that because
Yeah.
we just did an interview over at Playboy, and it's funny that like Jenny McCarthy, who's a big part of Playboy, plays Santa's daughter.
And I
in the
love
movie
she's
that we were
saying
in.
this like right in front of like there was playmates there. You're like, I mean, how could she be a playmate and then be Santa's little helper? And I was like, dude, there's like playmates right here.
No, but it was like I'm Santa's
What if they want to
son.
be Santa's little
They
helper?
can be
one day?
Santa's little helper, but this was like Santa's daughter. It was Santa's
Santa baby.
slutty daughter. It was hilarious.
That's what they should have called the movie.
And if you
red
haven't seen
velvet
it, it's
and
on
white
every
velvet.
Christmas. So
Yeah.
I have only good things to say about that woman after having done 2 movies with her, and she's an awesome. She's a good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, okay.
What?
What?
She what?
What? I know.
Do you want more to share, Zach?
It's getting out of control in here. All right, guys.
We actually have fun.
Yay! I swear this is only water in the cup.
Vodka.
Vodka. All right, so Black Sails Season 2 airs on the 24th, 10 episodes. We look forward to it. Guys, why don't you tell us where you can find you on the internet? Like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever?
Yeah, I'm Scrambled Luke on both Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, I am Zach_McGowan on Twitter and McGowan Zach on Instagram.
I'm J Parker K on Twitter and J Parker K3 on Instagram.
Oh, man. Guys, again, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to Season 2, and I will see you on the 10th when I find that $5,000. I'm Ryan Hooks. You can get me at RyanHooks92 on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. Catch you guys later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.